Hello YouTube, Henry here. Today we're going to talk about rooting or not rooting your Android phone. Before we start, I'd just like to make out that I take no responsibility for any problems that occur or the bricking of your phone while attempting to root it. I do not claim to be an expert in this subject. However, I have done enough with my phone to have enough knowledge to make this video. But if you'd like to know more about rooting your phone, you can head over to the XDA forums, which I'll put a link in the description below. So we'll start with reasons why to root your phone. Custom ROMs. When rooting your phone, you can put on custom ROMs, things like CyanogenMod, which, if you know about phones, it comes on the OnePlus One, and some others. Mostly Chinese Chinese handsets. These come with like enhanced extra features, and don't come with bloatware that you'll find on many phones that you get from, I'd say, OEM companies like Sony and Samsung and things like that. Right, that's for custom ROMs. Firmware. If you've got an older phone, let's say we're using Jelly Bean or Ice Cream Sandwich or something like that, and you cannot get normal updates to things like KitKat or Lollipop, when rooting your phone, chances are that you might be able to find a firmware that somebody's created that you can have on your phone that's more recent, I should say, because not on you might not be able to upgrade it to the newest one, but you might be able to upgrade it to one before that. So yeah, so rooting your phone, you might be able to find a firmware upgrade for that. Overclocking. This one I do not really agree on. I do not recommend it either. This is similar to like overclocking on a PC. You can make it like perform better. You can even underclock it, but like PCs, it can shorten the lifespan of your handset. Bloatware. Now, bloatware is what comes on your phone when you get it like from Sony or Samsung. It comes with apps on there that you cannot uninstall and that you'll never use. With a rooted phone, you can use, there's programs apps you can download that allow you to uninstall these as long as you're careful, because some apps are tied into the functions of the phone. Backups. With a rooted phone, you can have backups. You can back up things like contacts, messages, and apps to places like an SD card. I'm not sure about cloud storage. I don't know. Also, you can make full system backups of your phone as well, and have them stored on your SD card. There are programs like Titanium Backup, which obviously requires root access, found on the Play Store. Bloatware. No, we've done bloatware. Sorry, my mistake. Recovery. A lot of handsets come with recovery on them, where if a problem caused on your phone and it's unable to boot or anything like that, you can go into recovery party, or let's say your phone doesn't run properly or anything like that and slows down, you can go into recovery partition if you can't get into your phone, and restore it back to factory settings. Now, some handsets, like the Sony handset, the Xperia handsets, I don't know if it's all Sony handsets, sorry, but with mine in particular, which is the Xperia Z1, does not come with a recovery partition. Therefore, with having a rooted phone, I can have one created, which means, I can use the recovery partition to back up my phone, or restore it, or even flash custom firmware to it. Which, I'm not a fan of custom firmware. I've got a stock one in there that's rooted, so that's fine with me. SD card. with a rooted phone, you can move apps from the phone's internal storage to an SD card, therefore freeing up a lot of space on your internal storage. So let's say you've got a phone that has like what, 8 gigabytes of internal storage or 4 gigabytes of internal storage. Trying to think, the Xperia E3, we'll take that one for example. That one only comes with, I think it's about 4 gigabytes of internal storage. So if you get like a memory card that's supported up to what, 16, 32, 64 or maybe 128, I don't know. With a rooted handset you can move apps and games to that storage, that SD card, so that frees up the internal memory for system functions or things like that. Right, so okay, reasons to not root your phone. Messing up your phone. Now this is a biggie, because with a rooted phone you've opened up the phone to have access to everything, the root files. So if you accidentally delete something like that, then your phone will probably not boot up, but chances are it might not run properly as well, causing you to have to either flash it with the firmware and start all over again, or you might be able to recover it in using recovery. Lack of support. Now, if you've gotten your phone from or like a carrier, like your network carrier, if you root your phone and have a problem with it, you cannot ask the carrier for the support, because chances are that they're going to tell you that your phone's not working due to the rooting process, and that means you probably have to reflash it and start again. Rooting can be complicated, I suppose. Yeah. With some phones there can be a lot of steps involved to follow. Other phones, like mine, was easy enough. I mean, there was a script made that I found on the XDA forums that you download, and you just make sure you're on like an earlier version that the rooting process will do. I mean, I had to downgrade mine from 4.4 to 4.2, I think it was, and flash it that way, and then update it from them. But updating, you need a pre-rooted ROM, which, depending on what country you're in, you might be able to find one. If not, you might have to make one your own, which I had to. And although I was comfortable making it, not everybody will be will be comfortable with it. Warranty. No, sorry, there was one other thing about the rooting. Some rooting requires the bootloader. Obviously, bootloader, you'll know what it means. Will require it to be unlocked. Some are okay with it being locked, like mine. Mine was okay to be rooted while locked, but some will need to be unlocked. And if it's got files there, and if the unlock process wipes them files, then certain functions like camera and all that won't work. Now I know for a fact that if I had unlocked mine and didn't back up, I think they call it a TA partition, which holds camera information and things like that. Then if once that was unlocked, it would have wiped it, and therefore once I'd rooted it and went back on, I would not be able to use the camera. Now, warranty, that's what I was going to do next. Warranty. Rooting your phone, if you've got warranty, rooting your phone will void that warranty. Therefore, if you have any problems, you will not be able to send it off to get repaired, leaving you with either a broken phone, or you have to suffer with them problems until you're able to get a new one. Security risk. With rooting your phone, there is an increased security risk that you could catch a virus. Either from looking on web pages to downloading an app that isn't on the Play Store that could carry a virus. So really, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, I wouldn't recommend it, due to the fact that things like updates and all that, you have to have a pre-rooted ROM to be able to upgrade to like newer things like 5.1. Is due out. I know Nexus devices, Google Nexus devices, have already got 5.1, and when that's out for other phones, you have to have it pre-rooted to flash to a rooted phone, or when rooting it, you will lose that root, so it'll go back to like a stock version, and you'd have to downgrade and root it, and then do a pre-rooted ROM and install that. I mean, if you're happy with this, you can head over to the XDA forums and see. But as I say, some roots are complicated, some aren't. I was happy just to mess on with mine, and it's best to try this on a second handset rather than your main handset, just in case anything goes wrong. But maybe, I'd love to just mess around, so I was happy to do it, even though I didn't like the idea that if anything went wrong, that I would have to either suffer and get a new phone or have to reflash it. But really, I've had to reflash mine numerous times now, due to I've knocked it up a few times. I've deleted stuff by accident when messing around, and I've uninstalled things and caused problems while messing around. But most of the time it's been okay. It's just that some things, when I've messed around, some things haven't just worked properly. Either it's slowed down quite a lot and I can't get it back to normal, or things like the recovery partition. I've found that installing certain apps that you don't download from the Play Store, that I've downloaded from sites that, like, it's hard to explain. Hang on 1 second, I'll tell you. Okay, I don't know. There are a couple of apps that I've got that I downloaded from a website that no, in fact, Exposed. Yes, Exposed. I'll use Exposed as an example. Exposed is something that you've got to flash onto your phone. Now, it works okay with KitKat, but at the moment it's an alpha for Lollipop, which means there's going to be bugs and all that. Now, under my messing around with it, I've worked out that either one of the apps that I've downloaded that use a module from the Exposed installer has removed the recovery, or it might have been Exposed itself. I'm not sure. I haven't worked out properly. But what happens here is when you use recovery, and you've got an SD card, it does put files onto the SD card. Therefore, when I've lost the recovery, I've also lost the memory card, requiring me to have to reinstall the recovery, again. Yeah, really, you just have to be careful while flashing your phone, in case anything happens. Most of the time it can be recovered, but there'll be the odd times where it may not. So you do this at your own discretion, really. But as I say, you can head over to the XDA forums and look there. They have pretty much information on all phones, all major phones anyway. Excuse me. But as I say, I'd take no responsibility. I'm not an expert, so So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off now, and I will talk to you next time.